Hi, welcome to Belize Caye Connection, a program produced by Patrick Barrow, featuring the Belizean artists and music here in Los Angeles. In our first program, we feature Elihue Flowers, who has been performing for approximately 20 years now. Elihue, it's a pleasure to have you here in our studios.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Elihue, let's start off by telling us how you first got started in the music industry. It is not here in the United States that you got started, but somewhere in a country by the name of Belize.
Right, beautiful Belize, where I was born. Proud to be a Belizean. Yeah, it was a little after Hurricane Hattie, that's in 1961. I met with the renowned Anthony Richards, along with another friend, Earl Waite, who is a prominent singer out here in Los Angeles. We made a group by the name of the Crystals. And that was my first real encounter.
You said group. This is not a band. It's actually a group of 4 singers without.
Yeah, it was a quartet. Quartet, right?
Okay.
Which I sang lead and tenor. Anthony sang lead and tenor, and we switched parts with Earl, who sang alto. We had Dennis Lennon, who did bass. We made beautiful harmony.
About what year was this, Ellie?
This is a little after 1961.
1961.
After October. I think it was around November 1961.
What happened after that? Did the group last for quite some time? Did you move from there into a band? Or?
Yeah, no, the group lasted until 1966, when Earl emigrated to the United States. In 67, I left and I went to New York, and Anthony was left in Belize. But throughout that whole period, the group was performing.
What did you do after the group broke up? Did you get involved in other Caribbean bands at the time?
Yeah, I did a bit of freelancing, if you may. I sang with Glenn Buddan for a period of time, and I did a lot of flow shows. I did some things with Lord Rayburn, but I was never with any one band permanently per se.
Has it always been Caribbean music that you have been singing, just Caribbean songs?
Not really, not really. We were very much influenced in the earlier days by country and western music, and by some of the material done here in North America, like the era of James Brown. I did a few James Browns.
Is that right?
Yeah. With a band that they had by the name of the Messengers, a very renowned band then, and we did things like when Otis Redding came out, you know. So what we did, we kept in tune with the change, the trends of music. Seemingly every decade music takes a different trend, right?
Exactly.
And in order to keep in the race, you got to change accordingly.
What are some of the places that you like to mention that hold very memorable experiences for yourself that you'll never forget? Some of the places in Belize that you like to mention that you have performed? Well,
let me see. Stand Creek, for one. I love Stand Creek. Now known as Dangriga.
Okay.
I performed in Cayo. I think El Cayo, Orange Walk, and Stand Creek, plus Belize City, of course. Those are my 4 main spots.
Looking at Belize, Belize is geographically located in Central America. Guatemala on the south, bordering it on the south. There's the Caribbean Sea on the east, and Mexico on the north. Now, it's very interesting to note that Belizean artists, coming from an area which is surrounded by Latin-speaking countries, that we have English-speaking people from that particular country and people who sing English music. Has the mere fact that you are located around the other Spanish-speaking countries, has that affected any whatsoever the artists and what they sing? Do you sing Latin music?
Well, a little, but if you notice in the north, Corozal, Orange Walk, okay, there are a lot of Spanish people there, and they are Belizeans per se, right? The dominant music there is Spanish music, you know, Latin music, okay, but I believe being in the city, as it were, okay, and we were more influenced by people from the West Indies per se, right? We're more in tune with country and Western, the North American type music. Okay, so it's not hard to understand that we being, you know, in the city itself as opposed to those in the North, right? So they are influenced by Latin. They are Latin, so to speak, right? But we of ourselves kept that trend.
While you were in Belize, did you ever perform for an all-Latin audience?
Yes, in Orange Walk.
Really?
And, yeah, in Orange Walk.
What was the response like? Was it different, say, maybe performing for English-speaking people and performing for Latin people?
Latin people are very sentimental people. And at that time, I was heavy into love ballads. I was amazed by the response I got in Orange Walk. I think it's at Santiago Castillo Stadium. Maybe half of them did not understand what I was singing, but it was music, sweet music, and they appreciated it as such. No, the response was great,
Really?
surprisingly.
That's very interesting. Do you sing Spanish songs, by the way? The Julio Iglesias type of music?
Not very many of them, but I did do a record. The part of it is in Spanish.
Is that right?
Yes, I recorded before the next Teardrop Fall. Half of it is in English, half in Spanish.
What I'd like to know is what goes through an artist's mind when he's on stage performing for a Latin audience, and you don't speak a word of Spanish. You maybe know sí is yes and no is no, but beyond that, what goes through your mind? Are you uncertain about the response that you're going to get?
Well, you are uncertain, and what goes through your mind is, how are they going to react to this? Is it going to be a boo? Is it going to be a yeah? You know what I'm saying? You reach for your inner resources. You know, you're not singing Spanish in itself. And you try to put all the melodious vocal you can conjure up, right? All the actions that go along with it. And it's a harder job, so to speak, to let the person, he's just hearing songs, probably don't know what you're singing. You know it's about love from your mere expression. And you sell yourself that way.
Exactly.
And through that medium, I guess, I made it come through with this.
That's interesting. We've been talking to Elihue Flowers on Belize Caye Connection, a program produced by Patrick Barrow, featuring the Belizean artists and Belizean music here in the United States.